What's up, everybody? It is a Blue Drake, and today I've got another weird one for you. We've been on a kick recently finding just really weird games. Some of them are horrific, some of them are just strange, some of them are right in between, and this is kind of right in between, but I can't help but be fascinated. It reminds me of something like a trippier penumbra, if that's even possible, with some really interesting horror slash maybe puzzle elements, but also some really weird creatures that you have to go toe-to-toe with. Welcome to Dark Fracture. This is a game that I still, after watching all of the footage I've seen, I still don't fully understand. And that's kind of part of what has me intrigued. This game is going to be coming out soon on Steam. It is said that it's going to be coming out Q1 2021, so hopefully actually very, very soon. The words of the developers say that between reality and a nightmare, between sanity and madness, in Dark Fracture, the player explores a world that is ever-changing. Face your character's inner turmoil and chaos, walk the edge of madness in their shoes in this thrilling first-person psychological horror experience. So basically, the premise of this game is you're playing somebody that's losing their mind. And I think that this is actually going to be a fairly fresh take on the horror genre. I mean, I really love games like this. The storyline is set sometime in the late 90s, set in an isolated region in rural United States. You are Edward, a body farm employee. I don't understand how that's a thing, but that's what it says. It says you are a body farm employee who is pained by his past, only finding solace in the medicine that helps him get through his day. Edward is barely able to cope with his personal issues, which are only intensified by him living in solitude. He puts on a brave front and dutifully wakes up for work every day, but his routine serves only as an anchor. Deep inside, trouble is simmering. One night, while working the dreaded midnight shift, a chain of disturbing events draws Edward ever closer to losing his grip on reality, as the very fabric of his world seems to unravel and twist. His home of the past few years is being pulled from under his feet, and the cruel hand of fate once more nudging him towards disaster, one that threatens to engulf his home in shadow. So, this is very much a psychological horror game, and I feel like psychological horror games are the ones that give me, like, the most PTSD, but it does really look like a pretty game. It does say that it has photorealistic graphics. That's one of the features, is photorealism, although I'm not sure if, I mean, it is a pretty game. I wouldn't go as far to say photorealism. I mean, it's definitely a decent looking game. Maybe not as good as some other projects, but definitely up there. But there is going to be an inventory system. There is going to be physical items. So again, kind of like, I'm going to say probably a big inspiration from Penumbra. Your ability to kind of like move things around. And Penumbra was really cool. You could even open up drawers, or the other games by the development team of Penumbra also have kind of like physics-based interaction, which I think is really cool. The game relies a lot on its sanity gameplay element, so your sanity is your key to survival. Paranormal events will hinder your progress throughout the game, so you have to make sure that you keep your sanity levels in check, or you will succumb to insanity. you also have dual wielding in the game, which is interesting. So I guess you could have like an axe in one hand and then, I don't know, like a torch or a wand or whatever. Some of the stuff that he's holding in this game, I'm not entirely sure how dual wielding is gonna like help, but you know, it's like, oh, I've got this voodoo head in one hand and a torch in the other. But you know, but one thing that I think is really cool is the procedural generation. So one of the things that they're advertising is that there's going to be procedurally generated events. So you're going to have different irregular paranormal events in addition to randomly located items that appear in different spots for every single game level. So that also kind of reminds me of the SCP games, where you kind of have randomization, which makes it more difficult to just like speed run an environment, which I think definitely adds to the horror elements. So I do think that this is a really interesting project. Hey, look, he's got some dual wielding here. He's got the camera and the lighter. So I do think that this is a really interesting horror game. You should definitely check it out. It's called Dark Fracture. It's going to be coming out in the next couple of months on Steam. I think it definitely looks interesting. And yeah, besides that, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. There's a whole bunch more games that I'm looking forward to covering, so make sure you stick around. And if you want to check this out and you think this game looks cool, let me know down below in the comments. All right, cheers, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you again soon.